Tell the seller, hey, I want $10,000 toward closing. And if not, I'm going to go to the house down the street and they're going to give me the 10,000 at closing. I knew we were in a seller's market. And I know the only reason I wasn't selling as fast as the sellers wanted to is because. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Joel Vargas. Welcome to JV Real Estate, where we talk about real estate, affordable housing, faith, health, and business. Stay tuned, guys. It's going to be a good one today. So a few years ago, I had listed a property on market. The property was located in Miramar, Florida, and we listed it for $700,000. At the time that we listed it was right at the end of November. And for those of you who may not know, the end of November is typically the end of the year. There's not a whole lot of activity going on because people don't really want to be moving Christmas or New Year. In this particular house that we listed, we weren't getting a whole lot of activity. We weren't getting a whole lot of buyers to come into the home. So much so that the sellers came to me and said, "Hey, Joel, what's going on? Why aren't we getting showings in this home? Why aren't people coming to see the home?" They came to me with a concern, but reluctantly because they were working with, of course, JV Real Estate. I already know, guys, what the home is well worth before I even go to see the house. I told my clients, which were the sellers at the time, hey, there's nothing to worry about. Trust in God first and trust in me second. And lo and behold, about 45 days later, we ended up closing a deal. They got almost full asking at 700. We actually landed at 690, which is pretty damn good. When it comes to real estate. Why am I telling you this story? Well, there's two things I want you to take note of. First is the timing of the market. The second, and more importantly, is what kind of market are we in? At that time that I listed that house, I knew we were in a seller's market. And I know the only reason I wasn't selling as fast as the sellers wanted to is because we're at the end of November, which is not a whole lot of buying going on before Christmas, New Year's. Again, because people don't want to really be moving in and out at that time of the year. Being as I knew that we were in a seller's market, I knew we were in a competitive market, I knew we had an advantage, and I know we had the nicest house in the community by far. So I was confident in telling my clients, hey guys, don't worry, we're going to get a good offer and it's going to get sold. And of course, about 45 days after we listed it, the home got closed at almost full asking. Sellers were happy, buyers were happy, and we didn't have to offer them any seller concessions. But again, we were in a seller's market. Now, why am I telling you this? Right now, guys, we are on the opposite of that, which is a buyer's market. What makes it a buyer's market? Well, right now, you have less buyers on the market and much more supply of homes on the market. So all that means is pretty much there's a couple of buyers looking at a whole lot of homes. They have a lot of options. So as a buyer, if you're watching this or you're looking to buy, guys, when you go into these homes or these negotiations, tell the seller, hey, I want $10,000 toward closing. And if not, I'm going to go to the house down the street and they're going to give me the $10,000 at closing. Now, some of you might be thinking like, that sounds super aggressive. Guys, when you're working with a professional and you know what they're doing, such as moi, they can negotiate these things into the contract. And again, don't be afraid to make multiple offers. Don't tell the realtors I'm telling you this. Don't be afraid to make multiple offers on homes that you really like, okay? Now, if you're on the selling side of this, it's not all doom and gloom for you either, okay? If you're on the selling side to this, you got to make your home competitive or appeasable to buyers. So how do you do that? Well, you can offer seller concessions, meaning seller contributions. You tell the buyer, hey, buyer, if you give me this offer at full price or XYZ price, I'll give you $10,000 to close. Now, in real estate, guys, $10,000, that's typically minimum what people are paying, but $10,000 honestly will cover most of your closing costs. Now, notice what I said, closing costs, not down payment. If you can negotiate more than $10,000, you can get your closing costs covered for and some of your down payment. That's stretching a bit, but it's still possible. And again, that's why you want to work with a realtor or professional that really knows how to negotiate and come in strong when it comes to looking at these homes, okay? Now, I said that this channel is also about affordable housing, business, health, and faith.